Hello. Today we want to talk about education in China. There are so many foreigners studying in China, and I have had the opportunity to ask a lot of foreign students here in China why they are studying in China or why they prefer to study in China. Most of them have had the opportunity to study elsewhere, but they decided to come to China to study instead. So I want to find out from foreign students here in China why they preferred to come to China to study instead of other Western countries. So I have with me some beautiful ladies here and two gentlemen. I would like them to introduce themselves, and then the interview starts right away. On my left is a very handsome man. You tell us your name.
Thank you. My name is Gabriel. I am from Argentina. I'm 27 years old. I came to China to study here in the University of International Business and Economics, UABE. My master's degree, and I am also studying Chinese language now.
Hi, my name is Jade. I'm French. I've been here for 4 years now. I was studying my bachelor here, and now I'm studying my master's in international relations with Gabriel.
Oh, that's great.
I'm Navid. I'm Sri Lankan, and this is my second year in China. And I think we're all master's students here at UAB, and we're studying international relations plus Chinese semester as well.
Hi, my name is Baya. Hi, I'm Baya. I'm from Algeria. I am in Master International Relations as Navid and Gab and Jad. This is my second year here in China.
Okay. So my first question, what is so special about coming to China to study? Why did you decide to come to China to study in the first place?
Well, in the first place, as we said, our major is international relations. I think, at least in my country, there's a lack of understanding about Chinese politics and Chinese policy. And I think this is because of mostly the language barrier. So very few Argentinians know Chinese or can read Chinese. So I think this is a great opportunity for me to move forward my career in this field, to come to China to study. So, and at the same time, in China we have scholarships that allow us to come here. So this is another reason.
Oh, okay.
For me, the reasons are quite similar to Gabriel, but the relationship between France and China right now. Well, our current president is doing his best to show how strong he is to China, and I think this is the right time to be in China for French people.
Oh, okay. So are you here to study and then go back to help your country, or you prefer to stay in China after your studies?
I'm going to stay in China first, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. So why did you also decide to come to China to study? Did you have other opportunities to go to other countries to study?
Well, I think China is the first consideration, in my opinion, being a South Asian, is because while I think echoing Gabriel's sentiments, it is trying to understand China better, and the fact that China is growing in Asia, and it is one of the biggest growing countries in Asia. So it is a bit of a model in itself, but it's also very important to understand how the Chinese system works, be able to better have partnerships with China and better interact with them, especially when they're very, very big in your own countries in itself. So I think that's one of the biggest pivoting factors of coming to China.
Oh, that's great. And you?
Actually, my reasons are mix of Gabriel's and Navid's reasons, and also I already had international relations in my country. I wanted to have it again in China, to have the Chinese perspective, the Asian perspective, of the world, international relations. And also it's really a great privilege to witness the how China is developing and how it's getting better and better.
So my next question is, what is so special about studying in China as compared to studying in your country? Why did you decide to come here instead of studying in your country? What is so special about studying in China?
Okay, so I think the whole experience of being in a so distant country with a very particular culture, it's very different from studying in our country. Like, for example, in my country, when you study your master's degree, you don't live in campus. You're not around so many students. So the environment here is like very good to know people not only from China but also from different countries. You see here we are 5 people and we all are from different countries. So this is what is so special about coming to China, meeting people not only from China but from all over the world, especially from Asia.
Actually, I'm going to have to say the same thing because in France, the campuses are very small. You don't really interact with the other students. And the way of teaching is also very different here. Some might say peculiar, but it's always nice to have a different perspective when you're a student.
Okay. All right. So I'll ask you this question. Do you do your master's degree in Chinese or in English?
So I study in English.
In English.
Yes.
And you?
Same in English.
Okay, so I want you to tell me the best experience, or experiences that you've had studying in China. I'm going to start from here.
Okay.
Your best experiences as a foreign student in China.
Maybe the fact that I'm studying in English and, like I said, like having the Chinese experience, because in my country I studied it in Arabic. So this is a big change for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think while you're studying in English, you also have the opportunity to learn the language Chinese, which is quite important in itself. Not only in daily interactions with people in China and getting about, but it is important in the future if China is going to become such a large country and so important globally. It is important. So it's that duality where you have the ease of learning your masters in English and the benefit of learning Chinese from Chinese in China in itself.
Oh, okay. All right. And you? Your best experiences as a foreign student here in China?
I'm not sure because I've been here longer than them, and I did my bachelor in Chinese and now my master's in English in the same school. So I have have the occasion to compare both, and yeah, definitely studying your own major in the language is definitely something I would recommend if you can.
Oh, okay. Gabby?
Yeah, well, as I said before, I think the best experience as being a foreign student in China was like meeting other foreign students. I had the chance to come to study in Chinese, but like when you come to study in Chinese with a scholarship, they provide a year of intensive language courses, but I didn't dare to like approach my major in Chinese. So I think this thing where you can study your major in English and read your own like bibliography or in a more familiar language, and at the same time you learn the language like with language learning techniques, is like the best experience here. Of course, this making friends from people from all over the world is one of the best things of being here too.
Okay, so final question that we can bring the interview to an end. Now let's talk about your worst experiences, either with Chinese or with foreigners. Weirdest experience that you've had, with Chinese or with a foreigner. Could you share with us? I have had a lot because of my skin color. I'm going to tell you later.
Okay, I think the weirdest experiences as foreigners, you cannot find them in the big cities. But when you leave to the countryside, when you leave to smaller places, weird things happen. Like, for example, I think my weirdest experience was when I was traveling in the south of China, in a very small district in the countryside. So I bought a bus ticket to go to a big city. So it was okay. The bus terminal was fine. But when I jumped on the bus, suddenly I didn't have any partners in my seat, and suddenly Chinese people start to pack chicken next to me, a live chicken. So basically my partners in the seat were chicken. So yeah, I was traveling with them. It was a very loud trip, I would say. So this is my weirdest experience here.
Gabby, this is very funny. Okay, what's your weirdest experience?
I'm afraid I don't have such a good story. I've stayed mostly in Beijing, and I didn't have any bad experiences when I went in the countryside. The worst experiences I've had were with taxi drivers, actually. Especially being a girl and at night, I would recommend you to be with people. But yeah, mostly that.
Yeah. What's your weirdest experience?
I wouldn't have as an exciting story as Gabriel. because I haven't traveled that much. Because I think in Beijing it's quite developed, so you don't have that culture shock, as it were. But I think maybe it is the Chinese are quite intrigued to see you. So when they see you, they'll be like, "Oh, where are you from?" Or they even give you the occasional glance and the stare, like, oh, "Okay, this is a foreigner." Or like you might see a kid going, "Oh, Lao Wai," or "Why go red?" So yeah, so yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and you?
I don't have any yet.
Okay. So this is the ending of the interview, but I would like one of them to sign out for me. It's Kianasari, all right? So who's going to do that? Who's going to...
Okay, so subscribe to the channel and come to China. You have to experience by yourself.
All right, thank you for watching. It's been another intriguing episode talking to my great friends here about life of a foreigner here in China, studying as a foreigner in China. And I'm sure you have really learned a lot and enjoyed yourself. So if you plan to come to China to study, I'm sure what we've just talked about is going to be of importance to you. Thanks so much for watching. Meet you again soon. Bye bye.